You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's DearGearAbby, DearGearAbby, advice that doesn't suck. DearGearAbby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to DearGearAbby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. And I want them all, because remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. And here's how it works. That's right. I'm going to tell you, you're going to listen, we're going to do this together. You're going to send questions to DearGearAbby@gmail.com. Keep them coming. They are wonderful lately. We've got a real banger, by the way, to start this episode. I'm going to answer a few each week here on the show. And as always, joining me today is my partner in gear, the producer of DearGearAbby, and a guy who's recording this from the comfort of his very own padded room, Colin True.
It does look a little like kind of like old school. Like, should I have a straitjacket on?
Yes.
Like when you'd see that in like cartoons and stuff, like growing up. It has that kind of vibe. The recording booth has a bit of a padded room vibe. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. It is like, our own personal Looney Tunes. So I have 3 topics, Colin, for our intro. This isn't even questions.
This is a hefty intro.
I know. I like it. So the first one is really quick. I just have to say, so I keep at the end of every episode, I encourage everyone to go visit the DearGearAbby Instagram, which is DearGearAbby Pod. And I had a reel last week go what I consider personally viral for me. I think there's been over 30,000 views and 1,300 likes or something. And my favorite thing is that it was about getting the poops on trail, or getting the poops. It's backpacking food and the cyclospora, whatever the hell that thing is called. Don't eat the lettuce. Eat the Nerds clusters.
Avoid Taco Bell. Yeah, I saw that. It got served to me. And I did notice, and this was before the 30,000 views or whatever. It was still pretty high. It was like maybe the teens,
Yeah, I was like, wow, people really love
shit.
Did
we get some followers? I looked at our followers.
We did.
Like, nope, still remarkably low. But,
we got like 11 or 12 extra, or maybe 15 extra, which I think is probably good for a
that's
reel.
That's probably pretty good. Yeah,
anyway.
But remarkable performance for a single. The algorithm served us up to somebody. So thank you, our overlords at Meta. We appreciate it.
We love it that the people like a good outdoor poop joke. I think I also sent you on Instagram. Yeah. I'm so excited maybe not excited for the marmots, excited for us. The marmots have resorted to OnlyFans. It's getting out, it's getting hard out there for Mountain Critter. The Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory has been studying my favorite animal for something like 65 years. And because federal funding has dried up, I don't know why. I wonder why. I wonder who could be in charge of that. They have tried to generate some sexy marmot study money by launching an OnlyFans called Only Marms. And I am amazing. Only mad we didn't think of it first.
I'm not I think it's well established, not a fan of our current administration. I would think though after 65 years, the federal funding dried up probably because there was nothing left to do.
There's so much to study about marmots. You be quiet with your mouth, okay?
Yeah,
you don't know everything. What do you know about a marmot?
I know that you like them.
That's true. But listen, so if you were a fan of Fat Bear Week, they also created a Fat Marmot Week, which I've been enjoying the content.
Pretty great.
That's right. And they partnered with a brewery in Crested Butte to create a beer called Marmot Tears because the marmies are very sad about climate change screwing up their habitat. So that is what they're still studying, friend, okay?
That's a climate change study. I think we know.
Actually, I think I know, though, where the climate is more stable, except for in the summer months because I don't have AC. But my house would be a very good, in the difficult times of climate change, this would be a stable environment for any marmot who wants to come hang out.
Sure.
Anyway, if anybody's interested, you could go find them. It's a legitimate OnlyFans, or you can go to rmbl.org and donate. And finally,
where are all the people who didn't like the poor girl thru-hiker who was financing her trip? Like, where are they? I want to see them come out about the marmots. Say, no double standards here. You're either for OnlyFans or against it. This podcast is for it. But
True.
Yeah.
We still haven't figured out ours, but I feel like we've gathered some good intel over the past almost year, and at some point we're going to launch it. We'll wait till I get desperate enough. So
this is going to be you in that cruddy sun hoodie you used to have, and using a bidet.
Oh, I still have
It'll be crusty sun hoodie bidet content. That's all it'll be.
There will be no videos of me using a bidet. Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly change subject because the thought of that is horrifying. And Colin, I'm going to let you read this one since you are the best email reader, but.
Okay.
I think so. We got some great listener mail. We got a couple of them that I'm sitting on, and I will pepper into the next few episodes. Always feel free to send us emails, even if it's not a question. I think this email came a hot minute ago, and I think it followed the episode where I had to once again defend Wild and made some remarks about how much dudes like to conquer shit. So I think this is what it was a response to, but I just want you to read part of the email.
I hope I'm so part of the podcast when it goes full circle and you start like lambasting Wild. It's just like you fully come around to the other side of it, you know. Okay.
I'll reach my final form.
So all right, so I'm reading this email. Here we go. May I respectfully suggest that you may be painting with an overly wide brush with regard to men conquering mountains. Didn't Mallory say he wanted to climb Everest because it was there? Or to make it my bitch? What about your crush, Ed Viesters? Wow, we have someone who listens to the pod.
Know, yes.
What about your crush, Ed Viesters? Is he an accomplished mountaineer or a testosterone-leaking conqueror wannabe? I myself have reached the top of many a mountain, but never felt that this position amounted to defeating the landform, at least under UFC rules, which I have tattooed across my chest. Could this be a California bro thing?
Yes.
You know, like tech CEOs challenging each other to martial arts fights?
Oh,
That's
man,
great
there was
email.
more, but we had to read part of that on the air. That was a good read, Colin. You do a really good job at the questions. I appreciate you, and I don't think you're a conquering man bro from California.
I'm going to blame I think peak bagging kind of originated in the Northeast. So I think it was the New Englanders and the High Peaks folks who just, started checking lists. They were like, checking off the tops of mountains. So.
Well, maybe you are. You descend from the conquering mountain bros then. Sorry to tell you.
Exactly. I'm reformed. I'm now a California bro.
A non-conquering California bro.
That's it. We'll start a club.
Colin, I feel like I know we recorded like a week ago, but sometimes I miss you. I just want you to know that. I feel like it's been 7 weeks since we last recorded. It's like I have all this pent up energy from when we didn't record for all those weeks, and now it's just festering in me every single week. I don't know what's going on.
Podcast relationships are real. Like our pal Justin Hausman, who I potted with every week for like 2 straight years, like I barely talk to him anymore.
Oh.
We have like a really good relationship. I'm
we
like,
should
oh, it's
have
my buddy
Justin
Justin
on here.
Justin,
I know you listen.
Justin.
You have to come on the pod. We'll find a reason.
We miss the house, man.
We do. Well, you know what else people are here for besides our, tributes to Hausman is questions and answers. So
Yes.
I think we have a great one to start things. So why don't you read it?
You teased this earlier this week, so I'm excited to read it. All right, here we go. All right, you're out on the trail. You meet a very handsome silver fox kind of man. The chemistry between you is unlike anything you've ever experienced. You're drawn together like moths to a flame, and you end up spending an insanely romantic night camping on the top of a peak in the Rockies. You have the most orgasmic night of your life, and you wake up in the morning. The elevation and the exertion of the previous evening leaves you parched. What is your go-to hydration drink? Signed from Hattie. Hattie, what a great lead up to just a totally basic question. Amazing. All time, 10 out of 10, no notes. Well done.
I could not wait. This one came at both of the questions, I think, or 2 of the 3 questions this week were more recent questions. So apologies to the people whose questions are still sitting in the queue. We will come back to you, but I had to.
No, this goes right to the front of the pack.
Had to go right to the front.
It's the combination. Not only is it a sex question, it's not even a sex question. It's a sex story. It's like Penthouse Forum with
like, here's
noon tablets.
Yeah, yeah. I like that your voice got a little huskier while you read that.
Well, it just demanded it. I saw where we were going here as I was reading it. I'm like, well, hold on a second now.
I mean, when you're reading about a handsome silver fox kind of man, you got to do what you got to do. I also like that there was no DearGearAbby. There was no hello, hi. It was just like wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
So you're fucking on a mountain.
Basically. I mean, to be fair, we do keep telling y'all to send us whatever questions come to mind. And this is a great example of what that looks like in action. So.
We did recently ask for them about animals. I guess humans technically are animals. So in this regard, we got a response to our request.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, well, Hattie, I feel like this is some sort of highly specific, like special Mountain Daddy fan fiction situation going on, which does remind me of that question about the Ice Planet Barbarians book?
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I still haven't read.
Well, you're going to the mountains this weekend. I suggest maybe putting it on your phone or something.
That's
you know?
true. That's true. I feel like the question asker, which was my friend Anna, would want me to do that. DearGearAbby@gmail.com. If you have read that book, I just want a quick synopsis. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know if this is a hypothetical or real life or something you're just really wishing happens. But in any case, I'm rooting for you, Hattie. Okay. So we have talked about hydration and dehydration before on the pod. I think Gear Mom, of all people, once asked about electrolytes. I think it was something like, should I be chugging Gatorade or is there something better? And I remember somebody asking about drinking at elevation. Does it make you more drunk?
Oh, yeah.
But I do think this is our first hanky-panky hydration question. So,
I mean, it's really just a hydration question, right? I mean, the method, the medium you use to get to being dehydrated really varies by individual. In this case, Hattie was just enjoying herself, and now she's a little thirsty.
That's right. It's a high energy dehydration situation. I mean, I could say you're asking what I would prefer to drink in this situation. I could say, I don't know, like a sweet nectar brewed from the sweat glistening off of our bodies, maybe. Or perhaps an intoxicating elixir concocted of tears of ecstasy or, whatever. But if I'm being honest, the electrolyte that I usually have with me on a trip, whether or not I'm getting busy, is liquid IV. Why? Okay, here's why. Like, I know some of you are going to be like, why are you drinking liquid IV? It's the inferior of the blah, blah, blah. Like, there's some people get weird about this stuff. Listen, most of these electrolyte drinks have the same stuff in them, okay?
Yeah.
So here's why I choose liquid IV. First of all, it is easy to find, okay? I don't have to go to REI. I don't have to go to a running shop. I don't have to go sign up and get my free $5 every quarter from Strava to go buy something on the feed. Like, I could just walk into whatever. Like, your mom drinks liquid IV, okay? So easy to find. Also, it comes in packaging that is very easy to stuff into the tiny crevices of my bear canister, which sounds grosser than it needs to sound, but it works. It is very stuffable. And it generally tastes good. And I like to have something that is not water when I'm out there getting sweaty in whatever way I'm getting sweaty. My gateway drug experience with liquid IV was after a friend's wedding. We were at a winery, like a post-wedding, let's drink some wine celebration thing. And she had the brilliant idea to try to pre-hydrate us so that when we got dehydrated, we just, reached homeostasis.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah. So she had, funny enough, they were pina colada flavored liquid IV packets. And it's nice because they don't taste like overbearing. It's actually a pretty light flavor, and it's my favorite to this day. I just took a bunch on the trail with me. But I'm not embarrassed to admit one of my other favorite flavors at this point is it's a lot more juvenile than that one. It's the firecracker popsicle flavor, and it tastes just like a melted popsicle.
I don't think that's juvenile. Like, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's like truth in advertising. It tastes like I'm not going to say I feel proud of this, but I love it. I think it's great. It's if I was going to choose between the two flavors for a little, post pine scented booty call refresher, I would probably go pina colada. It feels a little sexier. There's also a ton of sugar-free flavors. I like the peach one. And I will say, I saw that they have a rainbow sherbet flavor, and the inner child smiled so hard, and now I must try it. But I will say, on a more serious note, and this goes back to the people who are hydration packet haters, it's not just sugar or a sugar replacement in a tube. These things, the liquid IV packets, actually do help rehydrate you more quickly because of the specific ratio of the ingredients. So you got the sweet stuff, which is glucose, and that connects with the salty stuff, which is sodium, and it helps. This is how these things work. It helps pull water through your intestinal walls, which sounds real sexy. Maybe don't say that before you make the sweet love.
Yeah, kind of killing the mood here.
Unless that's your thing. You know what we don't do? We don't kink shame.
We do not kink shame.
I mean, I'm on the edge about that, but we'll leave this one. So basically these things bond together and it's like, let us travel together through the intestinal walls into your bloodstream. And that is where, hydration, where the glucose, the sodium, they're partying, they're doing the most important work. So it does hydrate you that way more quickly than plain water and even more quickly than just salty water, which is why when people take the oral rehydration salts, they're great. They're better than plain water, but it actually helps to have glucose in there with the salt. So this is me defending the sugary drinks. They actually do what they're going to do. You probably don't want to drink them every day, but they work. So yeah, I mean, after a night of sweet, sweet mountain lovemaking, bottoms up, Hattie.
That's how babies are made. Yeah. My whole, I don't know, I'm sure the science is sound and everything you just described.
It is.
I definitely, my issue with that whole like hydration market, you see things like hydrates you better than water, 15% more hydrating power than water. And you're like, oh my God, settle the hell down. I mean, really, at the end of the day,
but it is.
Sure.
I just explained the science, Colin.
But I want to understand, what does that actually do? Does it, what, if you...
Through the intestinal walls.
Is that like percentage, like that important? Does it really make a difference while you're sweating?
If you are deeply dehydrated, it is very important to get rehydrated quickly. And rehydration is not just putting water in your body. It's actually making sure it gets into your bloodstream. And that is what the combo of the glucose and the sodium does, basically.
Fine. My point is just drink something that tastes good, okay? Especially if you're like, up like bumping uglies all night long. Like, let's have something you like. I should have just said boning. Damn it.
That felt like a really classic DearGearAbby question. That one's...
Yeah, that's an all-timer.
It's going in the vaults.
Thank you, Hattie.
Thank you, Hattie. Really, truly. People, you can send us anything. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear your thoughts. Unless you are the man, I listened to that episode twice where we did the skinny dipping question.
Oh yeah.
Like 2 episodes ago. Why I listened to it twice is because it was a very good episode. Thank us very much. Anyway, unless you're that guy, don't email me if you're him. But hopefully it's not him who emailed this next question. What do we have, Colin?
All right, next question for today. Dear DearGearAbby, I'm feeling depressed about the national monuments. Okay, well...
I mean...
A bit of a letdown after the last email.
We like balance on this show.
Wow. I mean, this is a wild swing. Okay. I'm feeling depressed about the national monuments, Bears Ears, and Grand Staircase that are being destroyed by this administration. I feel like we are just constantly fighting to protect land and living things in this country lately. I keep hearing that maybe the Trump's executive order isn't binding, or is it illegal? Is there anything to this? Can you give me something to at least feel a glimmer of hope here? Signed, thanks. Sad and stressed.
So listen, I also bumped this one to the front of the queue. It just came in, and it's because it's topical, and I figured this was a good thing to cover. But also, we're all on that post boinging on the mountain orgasmic high together right now. We're very hydrated, so I think it's a good time.
We have the dopamine with the chemical, the good happy chemicals in our week, so we can handle a little depressment.
Stuff is going in and out of the intestinal walls. In
and out of other things. Yes,
that's right. Don't eat the lettuce. So, all right, listen, sad and stressed. You are not alone in your feelings. In fact, I think we have talked about this before, and it's pretty common knowledge. Like, most people who enjoy the outdoors, whether that's backpacking, hunting, mountain biking, paddling, fishing, yada, 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 most of these folks tend to err on the side of wanting these landscapes and all the living beings, or at least, most of them, protected, at least for their recreational needs, no matter how they lean politically. This is a pretty common truth. So it is a pretty universal bummer then for the average person when politicians start messing with the places that we love. So
yes.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not a miracle worker. Okay. I'm going to do my best to at least help you and anyone else who's been feeling these feels about all of this, feel maybe a wee bit less despondent. I cannot promise things. Go back and listen to the first segment if you need an upper. So first of all, I do want to put on, I'm very excited about this, my very best Schoolhouse Rock, How a Bill Becomes a Law hat.
I'm just a bill, and I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long way to the capital city, or whatever. I don't know those words.
That was beautiful. I was not expecting you to do that.
Child of the 80s.
Beautiful. Colin, wow. Nobody tell PBS or whoever that we just sang 10 seconds
do we have to pay royalties now?
Listen, PBS doesn't exist anymore. It's fine. So anyway, I do want to kind of explain a little bit of what happened, because this is how we're going to understand why we might have a little bit of hope. So basically, back on July 13th, the president issued a pair of proclamations, not executive orders. So there's actually a big difference here. Executive orders give directions to government agencies. They're like, this is how you're going to implement your legislation. This is how you're going to manage existing operations. This is, the directions for those in the inside.
This is how we're going to illegally apply tariffs to all the goods of the world.
This is how we're going to screw you over. No, well, technically, some of the tariff stuff was actually proclamations, but proclamations are made to the public at large. It's like, here's what I'm going to do. And they operate outside of Congress, and they have to be tied to something a power that already exists for the president. So it's a proclamation using some sort of power that already exists within the presidency. So they're usually one of two things. There's like the honorary ones, which, if you could imagine a president dedicating National Sexy Marmot Day.
Oh, who couldn't imagine that?
I could. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, I know you could.
When I'm president. Or they're policy driven. And so the most famous of these in U.S. history would be, you're going to be shocked, the Emancipation Proclamation.
Oh, I've heard of it.
You've heard of it, maybe once or twice. So, let's jump to, let's jump to the modern situation we have going on here. So one of the most recent proclamations gutted Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument, reduced it by 90%. It went from 1.8 million acres to about 181,000. The other did just about the same to Bears Ears, went from 1.36 million to 121,000. So this is not the first time a certain somebody has been heavy-handed. Back in 2017, you'll probably remember, both of the monuments were similarly gutted, although not to this extent. And then in 2021, Biden was like, take this, bitch. And then he restored and expanded them. Yeah. And here's another, we're going super Schoolhouse Rock nerdy here, because the way he did that was through the Antiquities Act. It was actually signed into law by Teddy Roosevelt back in 1906, and it gives presidents the right to proclaim, there's that word again, very kingly, federal locations with historically, culturally, or scientifically significant, quote, resources as national monuments, and also gives them the power to expand existing ones. So this is important. The caveat being that they should try to only set aside, and this is a quote, the smallest area compatible with the proper care and management of the objects to be protected. So if we were protecting marmots, I would vote for that to be the biggest, but whatever. What it doesn't do, however, and we're starting to get to the Hopi part, it does not give presidents the authority to revoke the monuments or shrink the monuments. The Antiquities Act does not say this anywhere, and this is an important distinction, because most legislation tells you how it can be it's like, oh, you can do this good thing or you can undo this thing. There is no directive in here that says how you can undo this thing. So this is why there's another legal battle, very similar basis as the one in 2017, where you had a bunch of different tribes, environmental groups, even Patagonia got involved, suing the federal government. So the basic argument is that because there is no language in the Antiquities Act that says homie can do this, only Congress can shrink existing monuments. So this did not get to play out fully the first time around, and that's because the courts spend a ton of time being like, should we even talk about this? Like, is this something we should deal with? And that is a lot of the gear grinding that happens in the Supreme Court and in federal courts, is them basically being like, is this worth our time? Should we be ruling on this? So that took up a ton of time, and it just kept bouncing around the first time. And then Joe Biden sweeped in and was like, I got this. So it was a moot point at that point. But this time around, we're deep in the hope part. Because these rollbacks were so extensive, this actually will likely win the case points in court, and they will decide to go ahead and get to the meat of the matter, because it's basically him saying everything but deleting these monuments. He's like, we're going to make them real tiny, So it's giving them a much bigger case in court to fight against the federal government here. And it's going to be easier to rally everybody because they already did this once. So is it going to be quick? Probably not, but things are in motion. So if sitting around waiting for a federal judge to do their thing, it sounds like torture, you can do the thing we do, which is yelling at Congress, especially if you're in Utah. And then for the rest of us, maybe a little more productive, will be contributing to the tribes and the environmental organizations that are actually filing the lawsuit. So that is going to be, I'd say, start with the Bears Ears Intertribal Coalition, Earth Justice, and Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance. And you can kind of go from there, because it is going to be a long, expensive battle once again. And maybe, if we're lucky, and the feds actually follow procedure, there will be some sort of public comment period on this, because they have to redraw the whole management plan when you shrink something like this. So yeah, post on socials, write some op-eds. I mean, make art, make noise. There's no reason to feel like this is a done thing. Yes, it's upsetting, but there is power, there is action you can take. And, if none of that works, just consider chugging some delicious electrolytes after banging on a mountaintop. You'll feel better, I promise.
That's always true. That's a good solution to just about any problem.
Yeah, bang it out.
Yeah, right. And then hydrate. I think we've been around this so often. My comment is more for like the industry folks and the people who comment on this and put their LinkedIn, they're very concerned LinkedIn posts when this stuff gets announced. Like, number one, he did this before. We should have expected him to do this again. Yeah. Two, given all the sort of crimes against the world this administration has pulled, like this it's kind of quaint in a lot of ways. It's like, oh, you're just running back shit you've already done. And so if you're gonna make a noise, people in positions of power in the industry, can we get a little more aggressive with it? You're like, hey, Congress, go fuck yourself. Like, do something about this, as opposed to, I was so disturbed to read the news this morning. I'm like, were you disturbed? Like, I was like waiting for it, like this is exactly what this guy does. And it's just, but anyway, but it doesn't make it feel any better. Right. But it's just like, come on. And this is one where the system and the inevitable change and that has to be coming for all of our sanity should allow this one to kind of like let the wrong be righted yet again. I would just love to see a little more like, tough language from our outdoor industry leaders. That's all.
A little more tough language. I'll be waiting for that too. I'm sure it's going to show up on LinkedIn. So I like that we've swung the pendulum. It's gone from,
it's been a roller coaster.
Real horny to real sad.
Yeah.
I mean,
or you could go bang in these national parks before they get shrunk down by our crazy president.
Yeah, take these opportunities. There was an episode early on where somebody asked how they can enhance their backcountry lovemaking. Go back, listen to that episode. Yeah. Take those skills.
Wait till it's actually shrunk down, and then it'll be illegal. I guess it's illegal no matter what.
Maybe we could do a bang-in. It's like a sit-in.
Just watch you show up and start screwing on the national monuments.
I mean, this is where the swingers maybe come into play. Like, I'm not going to take part in it, but I want to.
Maybe that's how we start the OnlyFans. As we support, we broadcast the Bears Ears banging.
That's right, banging for justice.
Bears Ears banging for justice, 2026.
Oh my God. Wow. It's hard to believe we still have one more question to get through.
Or any listeners.
Sorry. And you're welcome to everyone. What are we wrapping this up with today, Colin?
All right. Last question today. Dear DearGearAbby, my wife and I are avid listeners and we want you to settle a debate for us.
Love these.
Are Crocs the ultimate outdoor shoes or not? No, they're not. I can stop right now. No, Crocs are the worst. Did you do this? Did you write this email?
No.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't know you were so anti-Crocs.
Oh, I hate
Great.
Crocs. Okay, are Crocs the ultimate outdoor shoes or not? One of us thinks they are perfect, light hiking, paddling, camp shoes, etc. And the other thinks they are only meant for gardening and don't have enough guts for true outdoor adventure. We won't tell you which is which.
I don't know who you are, so it doesn't matter to me.
But we do have a bet going on whose side you'll end up taking. Yours truly, Sam and Jenny, trail names Captain Misery and Cowbell. Great trail names, but this is a losing argument no matter what, because it's about Crocs.
Wait, this is great. I didn't know you were so anti-Croc. Where does
Crocs
this come from?
Are proof of the demise of civilization.
What's wrong with a Croc?
The ugliest shoe that makes you look like a dumbass of all time. That one They won. Did you know the story about Idiocracy and how they're like, well, everyone in that movie is going to wear these shoes and no one will, there's no way that brand will succeed because they make you look so stupid. And then guess what? Here we are 25 years later and everyone's wearing Crocs.
I mean, I feel like that's 90% of American fashion, but whatever. Okay.
I've given up. I mean, I really have. I admit that we lost the battle on Crocs. So
yeah, you specifically. I think I'm going to have to ask you to be quiet when I interview our guest because even though I could answer this one for our wonderfully named trail folks. I love Captain Misery and Cowbell. I want to know. Names. I need to know if there's some sort of complex saga involved. Like there's a bovine chasing you. One of you is running. One of you is unhappy. I don't know. Anyway,
are those two stories intertwined? I'm curious.
I hope so.
Please write in again, and I promise not to yell at you as much in your next question.
Yeah, please do. Were Crocs involved? I just need to know. Was Colin the angry cow? It's hard to say. But I do love that y'all have argued at least once about Crocs, which, lights up my heart, and decided to email us for the tiebreaker. I have my own thoughts on Mario Batali's favorite footwear. But as soon as I saw this question, not even knowing that Colin was a hater, I knew I had to bring in an outside opinion from somebody who has done very outdoorsy things in Crocs, and that is Jeff Legend Garmire. He is an ultra runner who's logged several top 10 finishes at the Cocodona 250, which is, if you're guessing, 250 miles. And he's a long-distance backpacker who set FKTs at the fastest known times on a multitude of trails, including the Appalachian, the JMT, Arizona Trail, Colorado Trail. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I love this question too.
I was hoping you would. I'm so excited when you said yes. So I know, Jeff, that you do often wear real live shoes out there. I believe your most recent top 10 at the Cocodona was in the Mount to Coast H1s. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah. I have a good perspective of real shoes and shoes in question, apparently.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I love also, I remember reading some press about the Cocodona, and I think you said that the H1s were crafted by the devil, but you meant it in a really good way.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know everything that I say, so.
I like that. That's perfect for us. That is exactly what we want to hear. This is going to be
no
great.
Thought goes into any statements, but I stand by them all.
Perfect. I love to hear it. I remember a time, the reason I thought of you, of course, is because I remember a time when your Instagram was very Croc-centric. There were a lot of like Crocs. You were hiking in them. You were running in them, I think, at some point. So tell me about your use of Crocs in the outdoor sphere.
Yeah, my first thru hike in 2011, I had a pair of Crocs strapped to the back of my pack that contributed to the 55-pound weight of what I chose to carry on that first thru hike. So I've been a long time on the Crocs side. And since then, I've done a number of races, trail runs. Actually, Runner's World wrote an article because I ran a 5K in Crocs. So I'm team Crocs all the way. I think between casual mode and sport mode, you can't go wrong. I've actually coached athletes who have done sections of races or thru hiked a number of miles in Crocs because they were having foot issues. So while they may be a little bit of a limiter in some ways, they literally are the most versatile shoe. Whether you're fishing, hiking, running, they can do it all. Maybe not the best, but they are the most versatile shoe.
Maybe not the best. I like the versatility because so this, you talked about sport mode. There are going to be people who hear this who are not, deep in the Crocs world. They don't know the lore. How would you describe Crocs sport mode and when do you deploy it?
Yeah, I think the thing with, well, actually, I have Crocs on right now. So sport
Shocking.
mode. So unbiased, I was not told these questions, but sport mode's when you flip this little heel hugger back to the back mode. So it keeps your foot in place, comfortable for any faster movement that you may do. And then you flip that back to the front for a casual mode. They can double as slippers. So yeah, funny you start with that. And I happen to be wearing some right now.
I love it. I love it. And just for everyone listening, since you can't see this, Jeff did hold up his Croc and showed me he activated sport mode, but then he put it back into casual mode. So,
and I know no pauses will be edited out or there's going to be, that was seamless. I just want people to know I literally had the Crocs on my feet as we spoke.
We are giving you your flowers. You did an amazing job. That was unscripted, unprovoked. It's perfect that you had them on. I feel like, okay, I want to go back to this 5K because these people are I'm imagining these people in their household just like that. They're ready to burn the house down. They're arguing, maybe divorce is on the horizon about the Crocs. What was your experience doing the 5K and the Crocs? Like, let's give them something else to argue about.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't the perfect shoe for that environment, but the key was I chose pretty good quality socks, so that complemented the Croc style. But I'm not a big research person going into events for the most part, so I didn't realize it had a pretty big section of trail and gravel. So I felt a lot of rocks along the way too. So it just makes life more interesting, I would say. It was, I think I ran like maybe a 1910 or something. So it was pretty good, but it's not, corners are hard, I would say, because, what Crocs offer is like a roomy, comfortable feel for your foot, but that doesn't always translate to quick agility.
They can't corner as fast as other shoes. They don't have a rock plate built in. There's a lot lacking, but you're right. The versatility of the Croc, really next level.
Yeah, if you're only going to take one shoe, it probably should be a Croc.
Yeah, absolutely. You heard it here first, Jeff Garmire. If you're only going to take one shoe, Cocodona 250, maybe not a Crocs forward event for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's sections where I could wear Crocs.
Maybe next time. Maybe you could get, maybe this is where your first place finish comes in. Is you have to Croc hack, And maybe you make them more aerodynamic. There's a little bit of, you get a size that's just perfect for your foot. You do a little carving, maybe get a little carving knife. I could see some possibilities.
This is good. I could like paste a sole with a little more traction on the bottom of them. This is, Croc. I mean, you can bedazzle your Crocs too. You can put the gibbets in the holes. So you
can always put the gibbets in the hole.
Absolutely. That's what Crocs are known for, along with, I'm sure, the audience of this podcast too.
It's true. Well, okay. So I have two final questions for you. One is just if you're going to help settle this debate between these two people, what are their names? Cowbell and Captain Misery. Mm-hmm. What is your final word on whether or not Crocs are like outdoor shoes?
My final word, I think, is less like a decision here, more so that I'm just going to assume Captain Misery needs the Crocs. I don't know, just judging by trail names. I think for the next anniversary, birthday, holiday, that they should receive a pair of Crocs and get to learn for themselves how much they've missed out. I think you can start gardening with them, but slowly maybe go on a walk after that gardening thing, maybe go on a run, wear them in the river, slowly realize that you're not wearing any other pairs of shoes because the Crocs can serve all purposes. So that's both my decision and how we can bring yet another Crocs denier to the dark side, the Croc side.
It's really the light side, physically at least.
Yeah, they're pretty light, I'd say.
Not as ultralight, but they're lightweight enough, Come on over to the light-ish side.
Yeah, they're worn weight, so you don't even count them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like they're not even there. Mm-hmm. Well, one final question for you, Jeff. We do a segment sometimes on the show called What's in Your Pack? And it's usually Colin screaming it at me, what's in your pack? In this very David-esque Pumpkins voice. But so I'm going to ask you in a normal human voice, what's in your pack? And it's just something like a piece of gear that you're really digging right now, of any sort for any of your pursuits outdoors, like something you're excited about.
Wow. Maybe the most applicable to this audience is I got a newer trowel, and that has been pretty great. I also got a bidet for the backcountry. So I'm in that transition phase from when you're a trowel person to a bidet person. So I'm usually packing both tools and really potty training out there on the trail. So those two new additions have been pretty great.
This is so beautiful. I had no idea you were going to say that. You didn't even know I was going to ask you this question, and that is what you came up with warms the cockles of my heart. Although I have to say, if you're being a trowel person, a bidet person, I think they still go together because the poop has to go somewhere when you're done with it. So.
That is a really good point. Yeah.
So maybe you're moving from being a TP person to being TP free, which is also, in my opinion, very ultralight in spirit, at least.
Yeah. TP free is more where I'm going. I'm not going to move to surface dumping.
Please don't. Oh man.
Well, I'm glad we clarified that. Yeah. They're not exclusive here.
That's right. Don't leave it in your Crocs. Don't leave it on the ground. We're going to, don't try to dig with your Crocs either. Too lightweight for that.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. For everyone who's listening, if you want to learn more about this lovely human's enduring love for Crocs, his running, general outdoorsing, you can find him online at freeoutside.com and on Instagram at thefreeoutside. And you might also want to check out the film, shockingly called Free Outside, which follows Jeff during his successful unsupported FKT on the Colorado Trail back in 2020. And the Colorado Trail, by the way, is my enduring nemesis. I don't know about you, but I've just been monsooned so hard on that trail and fallen and lost things and wildfires.
Yeah, that trail throws everything at you. Like a day after I finished, we were driving back to Montana and it snowed like a foot. And it was September. You can get anything on that trail, and weather forecasts are the least accurate of anywhere in the world, probably.
But you know what is always accurate? Your Crocs, which will be great on a trail where it's always wet. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Jeff.
Great drainage.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor products, people, places, and pastimes over to DearGearAbby@gmail.com, and I'm going to do my best to answer them or find another Croc enthusiast who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and make my day. And of course, follow us on Instagram for good diarrhea content. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by this guy, Colin.
Oh, sorry. I was busy setting up the website for the Bears Ears Bangin' 2026 event that's happening soon.
I'm so sorry. I'm Shawnté Salabert and the co-originator of that event. And remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.